So I had some people call me out on the last episode for my thoughts on addicts still being accountable for their actions. They effectively said that I must be young, dumb, and full of cum to suggest that addicts should bear any kind of responsibility at all, even in the past, for becoming addicts in the first place, and that it was an ignorant viewpoint that showed how ignorant I am. Okay, but a couple people who used to be addicts were also in the comments more or less agreeing with me. So, checkmate, bitch? What's your dismissive excuse for them, People who have been addicts, who are in recovery, agreeing with the notion of accountability, which, by the way, the 12-step program literally endorses full-chestedly. Step 8 and 9, bro. Made a list of persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others, aka accountability. Accountability is also what is necessary beforehand to even admit you have a problem and need to join a program, so to pretend that addicts should somehow have compassionate carte blanche to just waste away and be self-destructive with no criticism is not helping them. But at least you get to feel like a good person because you care so much about the people whose behavior you're passively enabling. Jesus Christ. I'm obviously not saying all the relevant people agree with me. It's open to interpretation. But if even some of them do, and those people have the first-hand lived experience you're trying to knock me for not having, when does that start mattering? If I am echoing a viewpoint from some people who have the credentials you're looking for, where does my inexperience come into play when it comes to the validity of the pre-existing argument? Exactly. Try contending with the argument itself next time instead of looking for ways to avoid the fight entirely. Thank you. Have a nice day. I'm feeling a little sassy today. Sometimes I think about how nice and carefree it would be to not be a guy who says controversial things on the daily or routinely shares his ever-evolving politics. It would be so much easier. I could just make my gaming videos and people would comment on the gaming videos and the arguments would never go beyond, "You don't like this game? I love this game." I would be happier and everyone who interacted with me would be happier as a result of being challenged less often and not reminded of some of the shit going on in the world. People could only dislike me for being too attractive, while jealous of my incredible personality, instead of hating the core beliefs that define me. I'd probably still be acquaintances with some other big-name YouTubers, and fans who would otherwise be unimaginably sexually attracted to me wouldn't have to go against all their deeply held principles to act on it. I'd still have all the same values, but they wouldn't know. But the con of that seemingly blissful alternate reality is that things would happen in the world and my tongue would bleed on the daily from getting bitten so hard not being able to speak about it. I have opinions, damn it, and nobody can share them but me. I also believe I can deliver them through a comedic framework that is entertaining, which sets them apart from many others, but I don't always go the joke route if I just have something I want to say. Anyway, it's pointless to speculate about because through many ongoing decisions I have chosen this path and must reap both the benefits and the consequences. The benefit of speaking my mind is the catharsis that comes from saying what I believe to be truth in a forum where it can be heard. Tons of people can't do that. So many people are stifled from saying what they believe publicly, whether they'll get dogpiled or lose their job, from not being able to say your boss is an asshole to not being able to be unironically racist. People have to bottle up so much of themselves. I'm lucky enough that I only have to bottle up a little bit. That's right, folks, you have not even seen the true depths this soul can plumb, and you never will. Nobody can see all of us. If anybody could peer into the darkest reaches of our subconscious, we would all be publicly executed. Another benefit of speaking my mind is that it's more information for people to latch onto, so even if I lose some fans in the process, the ones who have an affinity for this extra part of myself I'm putting out there will only be strengthened in their resolve, barring anything parasocial, of course. And maybe that's better. Maybe having a smaller number of, shall we say, truer fans is more sustainable than a large number of fans who don't even really know the person they're watching. But then you could argue that the content would take a backseat to the cult of personality, which would lead to diminishing returns over time as the content quality deteriorates, as the person falls back on relying upon their established personality to carry it. I have seen this happen several times, and maybe it's even inevitable, and maybe you could even argue that it's happened to me already, but I disagree. I think my content overall is more watchable than ever. I do stream highlights now. That shit is a bop. Cutting out all the dead air, squeezing the good moments together, that's peak unscripted Albino. As far as scripted Albino goes, my joke delivery has only gotten better. There's been less opportunity to use it because boss rankings are now few and far between. But I've been trying to make up for that by doing franchise rankings and other random shit, and stream of consciousness to me still feels great from a purely comedic perspective, whether you agree with the subject matter or not. I thought that bit about meth and cocaine as drugs from the last episode was rock solid. I'll be on YouTube forever. I'll say it. I'll manifest hella destiny out here. I am going to do YouTube, or at least maintain this kind of content on some other platform if YouTube ever dies or gets replaced, for as long as I both shall live. So get used to it. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino. Watch all my videos in chronological order and note the upward trend in quality. And I'll see you guys next time.